Hey there Facebook, it is my afternoon. I've had a crazy day and I wanted to definitely make sure that I didn't forget to jump on Facebook Live for you guys right before the sun starts to go down. And today's message is all about really close the gap and raise your standards. And ultimately, this is what I feel like, our journey through life is all about. It is all about closing the gap between where you currently are and where you want to get to. And then when you get to that place, it's all about raising your standards so that you can access a new level of your potential. And so that's really, just been on my mind. I've just had a drive back from Warrnambool and, just been listening to some great stuff, some positive stuff, and, just sort of questioning what matters right now and seeing some, talking with some people and seeing what's going on for them. It definitely is this piece that I want every one of you out there to sort of just think about, where in your life are you not working towards this? You're not closing the gap between where you are and where you want to get to. Maybe you don't even know where it is that you even are really. You're a bit uncertain. And maybe you don't even know where it is that you want to get to. And you're not closing the gap. And then if you are that person who's just closed a gap, you've gotten your results of some sort, what's next for you? Are you raising your standards or are you becoming complacent, with where you are? And I'm a big believer in, really focusing on the journey, like bringing that fulfillment from that journey. And ultimately that comes when we feel like we're progressing, even no matter how small it is. If we have a sense of progression, we feel like we're actually moving forward and progressing, then ultimately that is the enjoyment that we have of the journey. That's all the joy, that's all the excitement, that's all the energy of seeing what's possible for ourselves. And ultimately when we reach our goals, remembering that ultimately that goal that we're chasing, that goal that we're moving towards, it's not really a tangible thing. It's the feeling that we have. It is the opportunity to break through to a new level of our potential. It's why we have coaches and trainers in our lives, because, they are the people who inspire us to break through to that next level, to show us when we're not currently believing in ourselves that there is more potential that we have there that we can't see, and they can see it within us, and they can challenge us and support us to reach that next level. So yeah, before I keep going on, I love having you guys. I just want to see who's caught me. I know it's a bit later than normal, but you guys know I'm so random. And Elliot, awesome to have you. And Vet and Robin, always love having you guys here. And Shafudin, and awesome. And Shailendra, awesome to have you. And Manu and Steve and Hassani, my friend. And Rian, nice to have you. It's been a while. And yes, Raul and Dominique, love it. Thank you so much. I'm grateful that you're enjoying my lives, Dominique. And Ashutosh, nice to have you. And Masayoshi, I love having you back. And Butch, nice to have you. And Terry, great to have you back. And Mustafa, nice to have you. And Firoz, awesome, Hassani, I love having you here. So guys, that is really my message. Oh, Jeremy's just joined. I love it. Thanks for coming. And Tahir, awesome. My favorite peeps are in the house. Elliot, to close the gap, we have to be able to be willing to do the work. Spot on. And on top of that, awesome words of wisdom that I always love you sharing there, Elliot. I would also say that on top of that willingness comes from our belief that we can achieve it. And that's why sometimes we don't believe in ourselves, and sometimes what helps is having somebody outside of ourselves who does believe us, who sees that potential as that kickstarter for us to access a new world of possibility that we hadn't seen within ourselves before. And I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Elliot. So yeah, you need that willingness, which is often generated from having a belief that we can achieve it. We tend to be unwilling to move towards things, or we sabotage our success because we're not believing in our ability to achieve what we're saying that we want to achieve, and ultimately that's why we stay stuck. So I love that you've shared that, Elliot. Thank you so much, and nice to have you, Ron and Leonard and Gurdeep. Thank you so much for joining. And guys, what I want to say to you is so many of us are not breaking through. We're not making the decision to change because we're so scared of what that change will entail. We're so scared of the problems that will come from making that change. And what I want to tell you is that your problems, you're always going to have them. There is no point in your life where you're not going to have some sort of problem. So get over the fact that fantasy that you think that, you know, once you get to a certain point, you're never going to have any problems. It is what we believe about the problems that make us or break us. You know, ultimately, when we can shift our perspective about what those problems will be, and we recognize that they are challenges, necessary challenges that we all need in order to reach a new level of our potential. And ultimately, life is about that progress, about closing the gap between where you are and where you want to get to, and then getting to that point of raising your standards so that you can leap to the next level. That is what life is all about. And when you get that in your mind and you recognize that problems are just those necessary challenges that each and every one of us need in order to access higher levels of potential and fulfillment and everything amazing that this world has to offer, then we can get over our fears around what problems the change will generate, and ultimately we will welcome the challenges, because we know that those challenges are on our way, not in our way. And that, you know, that mindset of just being so fearful about making the change, even though you know deep down that is the change that is necessary. It is what your inner voice is telling you and trying to get you into action towards. You know, when we ignore that, we keep ourselves stuck in so much more fear. We keep in this cycle of fear and losing our self-belief because we're not following through on what our inner voice and our calling is telling us to do. And ultimately, it is not until we can break free of that cycle. You know, sometimes it takes, you know, somebody new coming into our lives, or a new perspective coming into our lives, or something coming from within that says, I've had enough, I've no more, this is too painful, that we ultimately make that shift and we get over our fears around having the problems and fearing the problems. And that's where we break through to that next level. But you got to be committed to doing whatever it takes, having that, like Elliot said earlier, that willingness. You know, you've got to have that belief in yourself that you can make it happen, and it all comes from your mindset. Having a mindset that you know that you will handle whatever challenge comes your way because you welcome the challenge, because you know that the challenges are those necessary, you know, obstacles that we need in order to grow and progress to that next level of our potential, which is ultimately where all of our fulfillment is residing. So I hope that this is valuable to you guys. Kind of going off a bit here, so let me just definitely check in with you guys. And yes, Bo, nice to have you. Hello, Jeremy. And Elliot, yes, sorry, I already read that one. And Ron, awesome. You're welcome, Butch. And Leonard, yes. Ram, awesome. Elliot, it's actually more scary not to change than to change. You know what? That is an awesome mindset to have. The scariness should come from staying the same and keeping yourself limited. You know, I love that about you, Elliot. I love that you've got your mindset in that way, and so many of us can learn from that, you know, to have that, to bring that worry and that scaredness into staying the same, because that is where all your limitations are, and shifting that to being excited about all the possibilities. You don't know what life could give you. You don't know how amazing life could be. And I'm sick of seeing people stay stuck in just, you know, their certainty because it's not uncomfortable enough, or they're just so not willing to go there. They're so scared of, you know, the potential problems or pain that it could generate, and they're missing all the pleasure, all the beauty, all the fulfillment, happiness, success, excitement that they could be accessing as soon as they make that decision. It only takes a moment. You can decide right now that enough is enough. You're willing to go for it. You know, you can decide right now that you deserve more, that you're worth more, that you have more to give, more to experience. You can decide now that you want more depth in your connections, in your relationship. You can decide now that you want to up level and raise your standards around your health. You know, all of these decisions, they only take a moment, but when you make this committed decision, your life starts, my friend, and you lose your worries about the problems that are going to be generated from you making a change that you know is in alignment with your truth. So I'm really fired up about this. So I love, definitely guys, drop any questions, comments that you might have today around this topic, around, you know, closing the gap between where you currently are, where you want to get to, and ultimately raising your standards. And that is my belief about, you know, the fulfillment in life is accessed when you just close the gap between where you are, where you want to get to, and you continue to raise your standards and enjoy the journey and keep up leveling to a higher version of yourself. So hope that that's powerful for you guys, and definitely wanted to see if you guys have said anything here. And Ram, no change is so risky than change. Yes, exactly. So you got to get the momentum, take the action. You know, guys, I'm always saying that it's in the inaction that breeds the fear and doubt, and it's in the taking of action that you breed that confidence and that courage, and you start generating mass loads of momentum, and that is just where your life begins. It's so exciting, and I love seeing each and every one of us, you know, make that transition to believe in ourselves, to trust in the potential and the beauty, and focus our attention on what could go right rather than what could go wrong, and keeping ourselves stuck. So love that, love that, love that. And yes, exactly, Ram. I love how you've said that. Problems are, you know, to realize our potential. Definitely. Problems are your friend. They are your opportunity to break through to the next level, build more resilience, trust within yourself, confidence, everything. So welcome them. And Laval, also awesome to have you back. I love having you here. And Hassani, totally understand what you're saying. It's amazing how fear keeps us holding ourselves back from what we really want. Another thing that also happens though is allowing the areas of our life where we feel like we're failing to affect our belief in ourselves in other areas. Yes, this is so true, Hassani. Like so many of us, you know, we might be getting great results in our health, for example, and, you know, we're smashing out like great things in the gym and we're getting stronger and stronger, but then we go home and we have a big fight with our partner and we're not feeling connected with them, and we're kind of losing that. And ultimately, we tend to, as human beings, go to where we feel most successful and avoid the places where we're feeling really unsuccessful. And ultimately, you know, that is what keeps us stuck, because we're avoiding the problems, which, like I just said, the problems are the access to our potential. You want to welcome the problems. You want to face the problems. You want to break through the problems so that you can close the gap between where you currently are to where you want to get to, and then continue to raise your standards so that you can access the highest levels of fulfillment and potential in your life. And I love having you here, Hassani, and sharing your words of wisdom and your experience here. I always appreciate your openness and honesty, as you know. So thank you so much. And Elliot, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Yes, is a great book. Yes, Susan Jeffers, one of the best books I have read. If you haven't read it before, make sure you get a copy of it. It is phenomenal. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Susan Jeffers is her name. And that if you get the main message from that is to trust in your ability to handle it, you know, to figure things out. That's really what it's about. That is how you overcome fear, is a trust in your ability to handle it, to figure it out, and know, because you can't control what the world throws at you. You have no ability to control that. You can influence it, you can influence people, but you definitely can't control them. So the only way that you get that certainty to bust through your fears that we all experience, no matter who we are on this planet, is to generate that belief in yourself that you can handle anything. And yes, thank you so much for sharing that with us all there, Elliot. Appreciate it. Yes, definitely. And Rob, nice to have you. Awesome. And awesome. And Erosha, awesome to have you. So guys, you know, I really, really hope that this message serves you. I hope it inspires you. I hope it just triggers something within you that gets you to wake up for a moment and ask yourself, am I currently working towards, in a real way, in a really meaningful way, of closing the gap between where I currently am, no matter what area of life it is, to where I really want to get to, where that inner part of me is calling me to get to? You know, am I working towards that journey of closing that gap and feeling the progress? And then if I'm at that, if I'm reaching those results, am I always raising my standards so that I can access ever increasing higher levels of fulfillment in my life, meaning in my life, depth in my life? So I really want you guys to be asking those questions to yourselves, and I really hope that this has helped you, inspired you, added some sort of value to you. But really, that is my message. I just want you guys to think about having that meaning. My meaning around life is ultimately, closing the gap between where I am and where I want to get to, where that inner alignment is really calling me to get to, my truth, and enjoying that journey, that progress, that clarity, that direction, and always raising my standards no matter what area, in relationships, in health, in business, everything. Always raise your standards and step into that. And I love that. And last little comments here, Ram, only through consistent action in the face of fear that we develop the strength which eventually becomes our way of life. I love that. And I absolutely love having you here, Ram. I've appreciated so much your words of wisdom that you've shared with all of us today. That's been awesome, and I couldn't agree more. You do need to have that consistent action towards whatever your inner calling is calling you out towards, and stop keeping yourself stuck. I love that. Jeremy, it's an exciting journey with that perspective. Definitely. I always say, when people tell me that they're scared, I say, it is the exact same physiological response when we're scared about something as excitement. So why not create the meaning that physiological response that you're experiencing is just excitement for all that could go right, rather than that fear and scared feelings around all that's going to go wrong. You get what you focus on. So I love you sharing that too, Jeremy. Thank you so much. And Dana, awesome to have you back. I always love having you here. And Robbie, nice to have you. And Michael, if it is to be, it's up to me. I love that. You guys rock. I love so much all these incredible words of wisdom that you're all sharing today. Keep it up, keep them coming. I love that. And it inspires me so much to connect with you guys out there. Like I always say, every single day, you guys light up my world, and I love you guys so much because, I feel so much more connected to you guys when you can share and interact with me. And I know we're all in different parts of the world. So yeah, I love it. I love technology. I'm so grateful for it. And Patricia, nice of you to join. I'm just about to leave, but I hope you catch the recording. And guys, like I said, I really, really hope that this has been inspiring, motivating. It's got you thinking, it's got you shifting your perspective, it's got you triggered to go, I'm going to step up and out of this, and I'm going to close the gap between where I am, where I want to get to, and ultimately continue to raise my standards. I love that. And just before we go, thanks, Elliot. Love you guys so much. And Hassani, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. And keep raising your standards. Go towards my problems instead of away from them. Tap into that power of an awesome coach in my corner. I love that, Hassani. You are an absolute superstar, and I've loved getting to connect with you and meet you and everything. And I'm so excited for what's ahead for you and every single one of you guys out there. I can feel it. I feel your potential. I'm excited for it. You guys have such amazing mindsets. Everybody I've connected with, I've just gotten so much from you guys. I mean, you guys inspire me, and I can see you're hungry to grow and transition and get better and raise your standards. And it's an honor to connect with each and every one of you. And definitely, Ram, you've been awesome. I've loved everything that you've shared. So guys, that is it from me today. I've got to keep moving. I'm so grateful that you were able to catch me today. I've loved having you here. And definitely, if you haven't already, make sure you're booking in a 15-minute power session with me. I know I'm pretty booked up at the moment, but I've just opened some more time slots, and I'd love to meet you and connect with you and see what's going on in your world. It excites me, it energizes me, and I love having the challenge of helping you shift your perspective so that you can break through to your next level of potential and ultimately have huge amounts ounce of fulfillment in your life. So guys, that is it. I'm going to definitely sign off now, and I'm sending so much love, light, gratitude, blessings, energy, every single piece of me coming at you, because I am just so grateful for each and every one of you. And I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. If you have any sort of ideas as to topics you'd like me to discuss, questions you'd like me to answer, definitely reach out. Either drop them in the comments or just send me a message on my business page, guys. My personal one, I'm kind of like not getting back to a lot of it at the moment because I'm really overwhelmed over there, but I will get to it eventually. But if you really want me to see your message, make sure you're jumping over onto my business page, Vanessa Jane Patrick, Live, Love, Give, and I'll definitely get your message there. So love to you guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. Much, much love.